start standing. All right, just top of the mat then when you're ready, feet together or slightly apart, up to you. And then just checking in with your posture. So you might think about trying to just stand up nice and tall, reach up through the crown of the head, shoulders down the back, lifting the chest. And maybe think about those ribs lifting a little as well. And then just start to find that nice, strong, steady breath. Just deeper inhales. Longer exhales. Just a nice rhythm to the breath that you can use throughout your practice. And out through the nose if you can. It's building that breath a little deeper each time, a little longer each time. Try and use this throughout, just get that create lots of space and length, especially into the back of the spine tonight, and then front of the body, the chest as well. So when we start to think about lifting the chest, if you just take your hands to the bottom of your ribs, and you can do this with your eyes closed or if you want to, but you're just trying to find your muscles just underneath your ribs, and then just try to lift them up a little if you can, so you can feel them a little bit more. Well done. And now I might pull your belly into the back of the spine a little, and then lift your ribs a little bit more. It's quite a challenging one to do, but we're trying to find those muscles and target those a little bit more today. It's going to help us with our chest lifts. Lovely, well done. Release and release. It's quite hard to breathe as well with it, but there you go. All right, let's dive in with our sun salutations. Top of the mat. We'll do the first one nice and slow with a little bit more technique, and then we'll speed it up a little bit. So top of the mat when you're ready. Shoulders down the back, palms facing forwards. Think about lifting those ribs. You might pull belly to the back of the spine as well. Lift the chest, lift the collarbones, and then looking up to the sky. When you're ready, take that inhale and reach those hands all the way up. Open the chest, open the arms. And exhale, soften the knees, fall to the floor. Relax everything if you can. Just lean into it. Into those toes a little bit. Nice and soft and most of the body. Lovely. Inhale, halfway lift. Little bend in the knees. Think about lifting the ribs, lifting the chest, lifting the collarbones, lifting forwards. Exhale, plant the hands, feet back to plank. Lovely. Look forwards, shift forwards, and then lower the knees, elbows in. Chest or forwards. Taking the feet nice and wide. Let's take the hands forwards and wide. Elbows to the sky, shoulder blades come in, and then start to peel the chest, belly, those lower ribs off the ground. Start to look up to the sky, and then soften or pull the shoulders down towards the hips, firing up the upper back muscles, glutes fire up, knees lift, press into the tops of the feet. Exhale, release, hands go back in by the ribs, tuck your toes, see if you can push all the way up and back, downward facing dog. Well done, maybe take the feet a little bit wider for this first down dog. Spread the fingers nice and wide. Now think about those shoulders switching on, pressing down into the hands, shoulders working away. Lovely, little bend in the knees if you need it, and length into the back. Well done. 1, any movement you need. 2, 3, and you length down the sides and body as well. 4. And 5. Lovely, lift forwards. Step the feet towards the front. And coming into that halfway lift, again, bend the knees, lift the chest, look forwards. If you can lift the sternum, collarbones. Exhale, folding down, drop the head. Nice and soft into the legs, the arms, the shoulders, the neck. And then when you're ready, press into the feet, reach up, lift up. As you look up, try to lift the chin as well. Lift the collarbones, and then lift the chest, lift those ribs. Exhale, back to standing. All right, let's go again. Nice big inhale, reach up, lift up. Looking up to the sky, lift the chin as well, lift those ribs. Exhale, soften, fall to the floor. Slightly straighter legs, but again, just lean into the toes, a little more soft in the rest of the body. Well done. Inhale, bend in the knees, lift the chest, pull those ribs forwards, and pull the shoulders to the hips. Exhale, hands down, feet back. Nice strong plank. Look forward, shift forwards with the chest, almost feel like your hips are lowering so you can drop your knees, and then lead with the chest as you lower to the floor. Feet wide, hands forward, And then again, take the hands wide, elbows to the sky. Think about squeezing your shoulder blades together and then start to peel chest belly off the ground. Start to look up, maybe even lift the chin as well. And then pull your shoulders down the back towards the hips. Fire up the feet, thighs. So lift up the knees and then using those glutes. Well done. Take an inhale, lift the chin a little bit more. And exhale, send your ribs forwards and down. Well done. Hands go in. Tuck the toes. Tabletop if you need to. And downward facing dog. Well done. Slow down the breath. Steady the breath. Well done. One. Firing up the hands, pressing down. Send those shoulders to the hips. Two. Finding lots of length through the sides of the body, down the spine. Three. Think about trying to lift those ribs a little. So you can almost try and fan them out. So it sometimes feels like you're arching your back a little to kind of fan your ribs out or up, although you're kind of upside down. But also pull the belly to the back of the spine. So just switch that on a little. Well done. Take a breath. Well done. Look forwards. Step the feet towards the front. Nice halfway lift. Again, a little bend in the knees. Lift the ribs, lift the chest, little arch into the back. Exhale, fold it down, drop the head. Softer into the body, but a little stronger in those legs. Press into the feet, reach up, lift up. Coming all the way up, open the chest, look to the sky. And exhale, all the way back to standing. All right, let's go again. One more, nice big inhale, reach up, lift up. Open the arms, lift the chest, lift the ribs. And then again, try and get your chin to go upwards if you can. Exhale, fall to the floor. Straighter legs, lean into those toes. Just get that deeper stretch down the back. Back of the legs and into the back maybe. Lovely. Inhale, halfway lift. Bend the knees if you need to. Send your chest forward, look forwards, and then pull the shoulders to the hips. Activates the lats. Hands go down, feet back. Nice strong plank. Again, shift forwards. Lean forwards. You can even start to soften the shoulder blades together or towards each other. Lower the knees if you need to. And then lead with the chest as you come all the way down. Feet nice and wide. Hands wide and forwards. Elbows to the sky. Shoulder blades together. Press into the feet. Fire up the thighs. Knees lift. And then start to peel the chest belly off the ground. Well done. Start to look up to the sky. And then soften or pull your shoulders down towards those hips. Looking up a little bit more so you can feel that stretch. Take a breath. Good. Exhale, release. Hands go in, tuck the toes so you can push all the way up and back. Downward facing dog. Well done. 5 breaths. Feet a little wider. Straight arms if you can. Good. 1. Lift and lengthen. 2. So I'm going to try a slightly different thing with our ribs this time. So for this next one, you're going to try to pull your lower ribs towards your pelvis. 3. Can make it a little tighter into the shoulders then, so just notice if you feel that. Good. 4. Start to straighten the legs and the heels back, calves back. Front of the thighs, pick up and go back. And 5. Lovely. Look forward, step or jump the feet. Nice halfway lift. Again, soft into the knees. Send the chest forward, heart forwards, arch the back. Exhale, folding down. Drop the head, then straighten the legs to get that deeper stretch down the back of the legs. Lovely. Press into the feet. Reach up, lift up, look to the sky. Lift the chin as well. And exhale back to standing. Lovely. All right, let's go for B. And we're going to have a little bend in the knees. You can always go a bit wider with the feet as well. So when you're ready, bend the knees, sink in low. And then just sending the hands up to the sky. Press back into the heels, fire up the glutes. Think about trying to lift the chin a little bit more. So you're trying to look all the way up, even further back if you can. Take those arms higher. Good. Exhale, fold, soften to the floor. Drop the head, lean into the toes, straight legs. Lovely. Inhale. Halfway there. Chest forward, heart forward, shoulders to the hips. Exhale, hands down, feet back. Lovely. Let's try and get that plank in again. So shift the shoulders over the wrists, then drop the knees. Lovely. You want like a diagonal line with your body here. Now try to send your chest, your front ribs forwards, so sort of arching your back, and then bend your elbows lower to the floor. Feet nice and wide. Hands wide again. Let's go really wide with our up dog. Elbows to the sky, shoulder blades together. Feel the chest, belly, ribs off the ground. Lift it up and then start to look up. It's going to feel tight in the shoulders. So send those shoulders down the back towards the hips. Actively pull them down. Fire up your glutes, your legs, your knees lift. Well done. And then looking up a little bit more. So you can look all the way up to the sky at the ceiling. There you are. Well done. Take a breath. Lovely. Release. Hands go in by the ribs. Fingers turned out. Tuck the toes. Push all the way up and back. Down. Well done. 5 breaths here. We'll just try to do 5 here, and then we'll try and get a little bit of a flow when we get through to our warriors. Well done. Good. 5, 4. Keep lengthening. 3, 2, and 1. When you're ready, shorten your left foot slightly forwards and take your right foot all the way forwards. Keep the weight into your front right foot if you can, and then come all the way up. So you kind of almost want to feel like you're doing a diagonal line from your back foot. Now, think about taking the hands to the back of the head and start to, almost like you're trying to keep your chest forward and start to look up to the sky. Lift the chest, lift the ribs. Well done. And then if you're feeling it in lower back, you can always tuck under slightly. You can lift your back heel if it's mega tight. And then looking up to the sky. Then so you can turn those hands even further up. Or you can even clasp the fingers and then go up. Well done. Lift the chin, looking up again. Take a breath. Lovely, well done. Exhale, release the hands back behind you, clasp the fingers. Squeeze the shoulder blades, and again, send the chest forwards. A little bit easier. Well done. Then start to fold forwards. If you can come down towards your right thigh, lifting the hands up nice and high. Well done. Exhale, release the hands. Hands to the floor. And then step that right foot all the way back. Good. Shifting forward, shoulder over the wrists. Drop the knees. And again, soften the shoulder blades towards each other. Almost feels like you're doing an up dog, but we're just going to keep an eye on that lower back. So we're not letting the lower back drop all the way down. We're keeping it slightly lifted. Chest forwards, bend the elbows lower down. Feet nice and wide, hands wide as well. Elbows to the sky, shoulder blades together. Fire up the feet, the legs, the glutes. And then when you're ready, start to peel that chest off the ground. Pull the shoulders actively down the hips, elbows can drop as well. And then start to lift the chest looking up. So get that nice chest stretch. Take a breath. Then exhale, release, hands go in. Tuck the toes, down facing dog. Well done, take 2 breaths. Good, 1 more. Lovely, shorten, right foot in slightly, and then step your left foot all the way forwards. Keep the weight into that front left foot as much as you can, then start to come up. Hands to the waist to help. Well done, keep leaning forwards, get that nice stretch into the back heel, pressing down to outer back heel to help. Well done, now start to lift the chest a little, then sending those hands to the back of the head. So we've got that nice diagonal line here, hands to the back of the head. Start to lift the chest, looking up, drop the head back, and then maybe take those hands up as well. Or you can clasp the fingers. Well done, take a breath, lift those ribs as much as you can, lift the chin. Nice, well done. Exhale, release the hands, take them behind you, and then start to squeeze the shoulder blades together. Soften the chest, ribs forwards. A little bit easier, hands can go higher. Well done. Then start to lean forward, start to go over the front foot a little. You can have a bend in that front knee or straighten the leg up to you. Maybe drop the head down as well. Drop those hands all the way over. Take a breath. Good work. Nice and slowly release the hands to the lower back. Release the hands to the floor. And then step that left foot back. Well done. Let's try that chest forwards again. So shift the shoulders forwards. Drop the knees, look forwards. Well done, soften the hips slightly. And send those ribs forward, shoulders back, elbows bend, lower to the floor. Good. Feet nice and wide, fire them up. Hands wide again, elbows lifted nice and high, squeeze the shoulder blades. Good, then start to peel chest, belly off the ground. Send the shoulders down towards those hips, nice and active into the upper back. And then see if you can send your front ribs forwards, 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 and eventually down. Good, hands go in, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Well done, that's like longest sun salutation B we've done for a little while. Always good to mix it up. Well done, so try to soften the breath. Notice how this down dog feels compared to the first one that you did. Notice where you can feel that little bit more length. And it's always good to notice when it feels good, when it feels like you've got a good stretch. Then on those days that you need a good stretch, you know that you can go a lot further. Notice if you feel that stretch into the spine. And if you need a little bit more into the back or mid-back, lower back, or even across that broadness kind of across the upper back from shoulder to shoulder, think about rounding the back a little bit more, just wherever you need it. So if it is lower back, tuck the tailbone. If it is mid-back, you can try to round the back. And then maybe if it's across the upper back, that broadness that you're trying to find, send the shoulders away from each other and put a little more weight into the little fingers. Well done. Then start to press those hips back. So just find a little more length into the arms, under the arms, down the sides of the body, and through the legs. Lovely. Take a breath here. Good work. All right, when you're ready, send your right foot forwards. This time go as far forwards as you can, and you can keep your back heel lifted. Shift forwards into that front right foot as much as you can, lots of weight down if you can. Well done. Then start to try and feel a little bit lighter into your left foot. So you can do this by kind of leaning forwards, almost like you're trying to roll over on your back toes. So like you're trying to bring that weight forwards. Have a little go, a couple more. Leaning forwards, noticing where you feel that weight. Well done. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Shift that weight forwards. Keep the back toes tucked under, but you still want to be able to put a little bit of weight into the back toes. Push into your front foot and come up nice and slowly. Try and find your balance. So if you've gone a little bit shorter, this will be easier. If you've gone longer, this will be harder. Try and keep your balance, but you can use something if you need to. Well done. Then start to straighten the back leg. So you might have a little bend in the knee to start with. Straighten the back leg and see if you can sink a little bit lower. So you just start to get into that left hip flexor. Think about lifting the chest, looking up. Well done. Try and find that balance. Good. Now notice if you're on the outside of your back heel or the inside, and see if you can straighten up. It might be a little more on the outside, pin down the inside. It's the other way around, switch it over. Ooh, feel the burn. Keep your balance. Not happening for me today. Well done. Now try and straighten those arms all the way up to the sky. Reach that nice straight back leg if you can. Keep that heel high. Take a breath. Well done. We're going to try and keep the back heel lifted. You send your right hand forwards, left hand back. You might keep looking forwards. So just a little bit of a twist to the upper body. Lovely. Take a breath. When you're ready, bring that hand back up. Woo. And then open the other way. Well done. A little bit harder this way. Left hand forwards, right hand back. Get a little bit of twist. Just going into the upper body. If the hand is out here, that's absolutely fine. Don't feel like it has to go all the way back. Yeah, good work. Hands all the way back up to the sky. Lovely. Nice and slowly, you're going to pick up that back heel, bend the back knee and see if you can lower it all the way to the floor. Woo! Feel that bend. Hands go down, straight in the front leg. Well done. Maybe sinking back into that hip a little. Maybe folding further forwards. Mat at the top of the foot lifted, you're just on that front heel. Well done. Take a deeper breath. Sinking back and down into the hips. Two more. One more. So then when you're ready, shift forwards, hands go down. So you can keep that weight into the front foot as you pick up the back knee, lift the hips high and send your right foot all the way back. Then shift forwards, shoulders over the wrists, maybe drop the knees. Send the ribs forwards, elbows bend, lower. Feet wide, hands wide, maybe forwards. Get those Spider-Man arms going, elbows lifting high, shoulder blades together. Start to lift the chest, looking up to the sky. And maybe pull those shoulders actively down towards the hips. Send your front ribs forwards, forwards, and all the way down. Well done. Hands go in, tuck the toes down, facing the body. Well then, take a breath. Stretch it out. Notice where you feel that stretch. Notice if you need more of a back stretch. We are doing quite a lot of chest openers, so if you need more of a back stretch, just think about that rounding the back, whether it's lower back, mid back, or upper back, or a bit of all three. Lovely. We're going to try left side now. So when you're ready, extend that left foot as far forward as you possibly can. Keep the back heel nice and high. Well done. I'm going to try to shift forward. So shift that weight forwards, almost feeling that little bit lighter into the back right toes. Well done. You can have fingertips on the ground. You want most of the weight into the left foot. So eventually you can do this without having the hands on the floor. It might just be acting as a little bit of support for now. Well done. Let's do 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Keep that back heel nice and high, and then slowly push into the front foot, coming up to find your balance. Checking in. If you're shorter, it's going to be easier. If you're long still, it's going to be harder. Well done. You might have a little bend in the back knee to start with, and then start to straighten out that leg. Checking in with the back heel. Is your heel sticking out to the side slightly, or is it rolling in? So if you can try and fix it slightly, so you're trying to align it a little bit more. Straight back leg. Well done. So you can send that chest forwards, looking up, maybe lift the chin as well. And take those hands up maybe as well, get that nice big stretch. Straight back leg. Take a breath. Well done. Sending your left hand forwards, right hand back, but keep the back heel high. So there'll be a temptation to drop into warrior two. But try to keep that back heel lifted, mainly keeping those hips forwards. Nice. Hands go all the way back up. Let's get the twist. This one's harder. Right hand forwards, left hand back as far as you can. Well done. It might be out to the side. That's fine. Take a breath. Lovely. Hands back to the top. Nice big stretch. And release the hands down to the waist. Well done. We're going to try to bend that back knee now. Slowly lower all the way down. Take your time. Bring it all the way to the floor. Woo. All right, let's stretch forward. So straighten that front leg. Maybe pick up the toes just on the heel and then sinking back and down into the hips. You can keep the back toes tucked under or be on the top of the foot. So if it's we have stretched the foot quite a lot here, so you need to give it a bit of a break and turn the toes over. Well done. Sinking down into that stretch. That nice straight leg if you can. Sinking into those hips. Well done. 3 more breaths. Good. 2 more. Excellent. Last one. Lovely. Well done. Nice and slowly bend the front knee. Hands go forwards. Turn the fingers out slightly. And then lifting the hips, left foot back. Shift forwards. Let's try and get that chest forwards again. So lift the chest, look forwards, soften the shoulder blades, and lower to the floor. Well done. Take the feet wide, hands go forwards, Spider-Man arms. And then when you're ready, shoulder blades come together, start to peel chest, ribs off the ground. Start to look up, maybe lift the chin as well, and then send the shoulders down the back. Fire up your glutes, your legs, your feet. Well done. And then push those lower ribs forwards, forwards, forwards. And then way down. Well done. Hands go in. Tuck the toes. Down facing dog. And take a breath. Slow it down. Well done. If you're feeling it a little, then just try to take the effort out of your down dog. Take the effort out of the arms, out of the shoulders. Take the effort out of the legs, out of the feet. Just feel the body soften. You're still holding in that down dog. You've still got a little engagement, but it's not as much as it has been. You can even soften the knees a little, soften the elbows a little if that helps. And then just allow the rest of the body to relax. You might feel that as you relax and rest your legs, your arms a little, that actually your back starts to relax as well. Well done. Feel the neck relax. Well done. All right, from here, we're going to shift forwards again. We're going to go for that chest forwards. So you can do this with your knees lifted if you want to. If not, drop your knees. Shoulder blades come together, lower to the floor. Well done. Take the feet all the way back and point through the toes. Take your arms forward and then you can just rest your upper part of the body. But try and stretch your ribs forward still, so you still feel like you get a little bit of a stretch into the body. Well done. Take a breath here. All right, let's try and fire up the legs. So from here, you're going to press the tops of the feet down into the ground, one at a time, and then fire up the glutes. If you can, you're going to try and get your pubic bones to push down or feel like you're tucking under with the tailbone. You just want to really fire up those glutes if you can. Well done. Just hold that there. You squeeze the outer hips towards each other for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Exhale, release, relax. All right, so that's the level of engagement we want to try and have when we start doing some of these chest lifts. We're going to try and do right side a little bit more first. So left arm can stay in front where it is at the moment, and then take your right hand back. And it might feel a little bit like core drills in the morning where we squeeze in, but you can have this right hand or right fingertips down. But you're looking, if the shoulder is kind of forward and down, you're looking to roll the shoulder back and down. And it almost feels like you're getting a little squeeze into that right shoulder blade towards your spine. So it's sort of squeezing in. So elbow might be forwards. It's going up first and then it's going back. And it's almost like it's pulling in towards your right shoulder. Yeah, spot on. Well done. Looking good. Well done. Now try and fire up those legs, glutes. Well done. And then this is where it gets tricky because we're kind of looking to the right as well to help us get this shoulder and elbow, shoulder blade in place. But now I want you to think about these right ribs going forwards, slightly lifted if you can. So it's almost like you're trying to bring those right ribs forwards whilst you're still trying to keep that squeeze in. So it's like the right ribs are going forwards, maybe melting down to the floor. It's quite a tricky one to do. Have a little go. Just doing right side to start with. Sometimes when you break it down to each side, you can kind of feel it a little bit more. But when you do two together, you can sometimes lose it a little. So just focus on that right side. Well done. Hold it there for 5, 4, and ribs are trying to come forwards, but shoulder is trying to go back, which is hard. 3, 2, and 1. All right, let's switch over. All right, just take the hands back. You want that elbows down, fairly low to the ground still. Keep your right arm there and then send the left hand back. And again, you're trying to roll the shoulder down the back so you get that squeeze in of the elbow and shoulder blade. Fire up your glutes, your legs again, and then try and melt the left ribs forwards and down. And if you are lifted slightly, you'll be able to feel like you're trying to send them a little bit further forwards. But if your lower ribs are already touching the ground, that's fine. You're just still trying to push them forwards if you can. So you might even use the floor to help you feel that movement forwards. Well done. Hold it there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, release. Woo! Feeling that. Take a breath. That's quite hard. All right, so hopefully you feel like those shoulder blades are fired up a little bit more. I'm going to try to do that again, but both sides basically. And it's going to be a little bit like our up dogs. But instead of taking the hands forwards, like we have been doing, so far. You're going to take them back slightly so they're out to the side. And then if you just relax the shoulders, you'll notice how they kind of roll forwards and down, shoulder blades come together. You're going to lift them up slightly so your chest lifts. And now try to roll them down the back. And you will have to lift the chest, lift the ribs slightly to roll them back and down. And you'll know you're going in the right direction because the elbows are having to move the same direction. And then start to look up. You might have lower ribs on the ground. They might be slightly off the ground. And try to lift your chest more and lift your chin more. So as you lift your chin, you'll be lifting your collarbones, and you might just get that a little bit more movement. When you're ready, take a breath as much as you can, so the inhale will be hard. And the exhale, try to move forwards into it if you can. Lovely, one more. Exhale, release, take a breath. Take the hands back if you want and just rest the head to one side. Woo. Feeling that upper back muscles fired up. So often when we think about back bends, it's very easy to get into the lower back for a lot of people. Mid back is a little bit more challenging, but then it's the upper back really that is really difficult. But you're asking your ribs to expand as well. That's what we're trying to achieve with our chest opening. All right, we're going to try one more, which is the like cobra pose, basically. And it's quite a good one in terms of feeling those ribs move forwards. So if you get your elbows in and you want them sort of underneath your shoulders, but if you've got tight shoulders, you go a little bit wider. And then you do fists for wrists, or you can have hands down like forearm pose. But sometimes palms facing up helps the shoulders roll back and out rather than in and down. So you can try that if you want to, or fists for wrists is fine. And then press your elbows down. So you just lift the chest slightly. Still got belly on the ground, but lower ribs might be lifted a little. Now fire up the legs. Press the tops of the feet down. Knees lift, glutes engaged, so lower back's protected. And now start to send your lower ribs forwards. It's like you're trying to stretch your belly even more. So just those lower ribs forwards. Notice how that feels. Now you might start to feel like your elbows are wanting to pull back. You can try to emphasize that more and feel like the shoulder blades are coming towards each other. So starting to feel that a little bit more. Now try to lift the ribs slightly and start to look up. Maybe lift the chin, maybe lift the collarbones. Do as much as you can. I'm going to hold for 5. Try to breathe through it. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, release. You can take the head down, hands all the way back, and then dress the head the other way. Take a breath. Woo. All right, so notice where you feel it. Sometimes when you do start doing things a little more intensely, you just need to sort of think about what it is that you feel. Might be lower back, might be mid back, might be where we were working. All right, nice and slowly, hands by the ribs, tuck the toes and just push into tabletop position. And then just take a breath in tabletop, fairly neutral spine. And then spread the fingers wide, push into the feet, and then start to lift the hips up and back and lengthen through the back, through the spine for your downward facing dog. And if you can, just find enough engagement to stretch the back. And you almost want to relax your back in downward facing dog, although I very rarely say it because if you say relax the back, people just kind of sag in the middle. So we want to keep the front of the body strong, but we can try to relax the back a little. So if you try to find enough engagement, maybe the arms, the legs, even the hands and the feet as well. And if you've got enough length in the back that you possibly can't get any more, then you can relax the back. Because in theory, if you then relax the back, it's got nowhere to go. It can't sag down because everything else is fired up and you've lengthened as much as you can. This is one of those nice ones where you want to be adjusted into it and then you can kind of relax the back. Take a breath. Nice and slowly, just dropping the knees to the floor. Keep the knees hip width or wider. Turn your toes over, so you're on the tops of the feet, and sink down into child's pose. And so just sinking the hips down or sit bones down, just see how that feels. Checking in. And then we are going to try we had a little go at doing this on Wednesday, maybe. No, that was only yesterday. Maybe it was last week. We're going to try a little bit of a sort of up dog child's pose, which can be quite a nice one to do, like things like after headstand and things like that. So if you have your elbows on the ground in your child's pose, and it's quite nice because you just can stretch the lower back. It's like you're trying to send your sit bones closer towards your heels. And then have your elbows down and just almost let your ribs, chest soften towards the floor. Shoulder blades might start to come towards each other a little. And then we try and lift the collarbones and the sternum a little. So you try to look forwards. Shoulders might switch on, and then you can start to actively pull the shoulders down the back. And then you might even start to look up as well. So trying to look up, maybe lift the chin a little. And just feel that stretch. And it's quite a nice one because then you're looking after your lower back, because the lower back is rounded. But you can just focus on that. Take a couple of breaths. Just feel that activation of the shoulders pulling to the hips, chest forwards, looking up to the sky, lifting the collarbones, lifting the chin. Work. Exhale, release, relax. And you can go into child's pose properly. So if you want to drop the forehead down or just keep resting on your elbows. Or you might even want to get a block or something under your forehead or a cushion. And then if you want to, you take the hands all the way back behind you by the feet and just completely sink down into that child's pose. Then check in with the breath, notice how it feels. And slow it down a little if you need to, so deeper inhale. Longer exhale. Then try to relax the shoulders, the arms. And then think about trying to relax the back. So it should feel like an easy thing to relax in, not always. And if you can, think about your lower part of your back, softening, relaxing. Feel that heaviness into the hips and into the feet. Just allow the middle of the back to relax, to soften. And then feel the upper back, shoulders, neck. Just completely soften. And release. We're going to try our inversions next, and I'm trying to get you to that point where you're kind of taking all that effort out. So if you want to try your usual inversion, even if it's a really challenging one, have a little go, but with less of that effort. We have done this before. So you might even go for a handstand, or you can go for a headstand, or even a headstand drill. Or it might be that you're going to shoulder stand, which if you need more of that back stretch, shoulder stand is going to be a really nice thing to do. But try and, if you're used to going up and you switch everything on, you can still go up in that way, but just maybe soften it a little. And then especially if you're having to think about going into it, maybe something like handstand where you need to, You might, again, think about softening how you go into it and just see if it helps you a little bit more. So headstand or handstand or shoulder stand, have a little go. And then we're gonna finish off with some twists on our back. So you will get opportunity to relax a little bit more. I'm going to have a go at doing a headstand drill. So if you want to join me with a headstand drill, you can do. And again, we're going to try and find that balance between effort, engagement, and then just taking some of that effort out as well, and just see if it helps. So if you're doing headstand drill with me, I'm going to take your elbows down, clasp the fingers. You can keep the head lifted for this one. And then press into the elbows so you start to round your upper back. Tuck your toes, lift your hips and your knees, and then drop your head so you're looking at your feet. All right, once you're in this position, just soften and relax a little. Just notice what happens. So it might still feel tough to just be in this position. It might feel heavier in places, but just notice. So just enough effort to hold in this headstand drill. So we haven't even moved much, we haven't turned much on, we just lifted the knees and the hips. All right, now start to press the elbows into the ground and feel the length into the upper arms. Well done. Now start to think about lifting your hips a little bit higher. So you might even feel a stretch into the back. Maybe the legs start to straighten as well. And see if you can walk your feet in about an inch in a bit closer. Well done. Now press into the elbows again. Lift the shoulders. Now lift the hips up a little bit higher as well. Maybe feel the front of the body kick in, core engagement as well. Well done. And then find that engagement and hold it for 5. So as much engagement as you can. 5, 4, maybe straight legs. 3, 2, and 1. And just soften a little. Still keeping in that position, but just soften a little. Notice what happens. Hold it there. Good. 3 deep breaths. Good. 2 more. Last one. Well done. Nice and slowly you can walk the feet back and drop the knees. And some additional toes. Now maybe with the eyes closed. Just notice how the body feels. You just notice, maybe compare that first headstand drill with that lots of engagement. So we did 5 counts and then we did 3 breaths, which is probably just as long, if not longer than 5 breaths. But you do, it does feel a little bit easier because you're taking some. Well done. Let's do another couple of breaths here, whether you're in child's pose or whether you're still doing your headstand or your handstand practice. But again, just try to soften a little. And the more challenging inversions, you always tend to switch everything on and fire everything up. But sometimes just a little less effort can help. Especially when you come to things like handstand and forearm pose. Start to move a little more slowly, but we're just trying to be more aware of what we feel in the body and allow our body to almost guide us into it rather than thinking, or your brain saying, this is what we're going to do, let's go, but not actually that connected to the body. So sometimes just need to feel it a little bit more. Work. So if you are still in your inversion, you can start to think about coming down, but again, think about coming down slowly, a little less effort maybe, and notice how it feels. Yeah, nice and slowly. And then we'll finish off with some twists. Work. So if you can just come onto your back, and then we're just going to try a couple of twists. We're going to try a little bit of movement with these. I know we don't always, we normally kind of roll over and stay in it. But just trying to use a little bit more energy before we go into our Shavasana. So if you're on your back, you can pull your knees into your chest. So have the feet lifted. And then you can either keep hold of the knees, you're just going to lean over to one side and you might have one elbow stopping you going any further. And then you can come back to center and go over the other side and your other elbow might stop you going all the way down. And then if you feel like you've got a little more confidence with it, you can actually let those arms go out to the side and then just slowly see if you can let the knees go all the way over or as low as they will go. And the further away your feet are, the easier it will be. But if you keep the knees high towards the elbows, you're going to get more of a twist, more of a rounded back. So just find where works for you. So take the feet further away if that helps. And then once you touch down with the knees, just go back over to the other side. But slowly, so you're just trying to move nice and slowly. And as you move slowly, you can even close the eyes for this as well, just so you really feel it. Feeling the twist, but maybe noticing what else you feel. So maybe a little with the outer hips. Maybe you feel the opposite shoulder lift as those knees try to work towards the floor. Maybe that nice stretch of the chest. And if you've got palms facing up as well, with your arms stretched out, then you might feel that stretch of the chest a little bit more. Might have a little engagement with the legs to try and keep them towards each other. And just exploring how that feels into the back, mid back and upper back. Good work. Well done. Let's just do a couple more. Maybe you managed to find your rhythm. Maybe you're moving with the breath. And whilst you're kind of relaxed in this and you might feel the breath's a little slower and you're moving with that breath, you still find that there's plenty of engagement in the body just to be able to keep you from going all the way over or rolling too far over. Just keeping that control. Well done. As your brain gets used to this repetitive motion, you then just start to ease into it a little bit more and find that you need less effort. Do more each side if you can. And then just coming back to center. And maybe keeping the arms wide, palms facing up. And then just send those feet all the way out and away from you. Stretching out through the feet. And then letting the ankles relax, the feet relax. And just sinking into your shoulder. If you want to take the arms a little lower, you can do, or you might find it's quite comfortable with the arms wide. And sinking into a nice relaxing final posture. Might take a deep breath in. Big sigh out. Big deep breath in. Big sigh out. Just feel your entire body relax. Maybe your feet, your ankles, your calves. Knees, your thighs. And just allowing your hips, pelvis to feel heavy. Sinking down. To relax the belly. Relax the lower back. Mid back, your back. Just allowing your shoulders, arms, elbows soften, sink down. To relax the back of the head, the shoulders, arms, elbows, and wrists. Let go of the breath. Deeper inhale, doing a little movement, fingers, toes, wrists, ankles. Stretch the hands at the movement. And maybe you're enjoying a little bit of a back stretch, maybe pulling the knees in, maybe enjoying a little bit more into the mid back, lower back, or even into the upper back. Slowly moving over to one side. And just taking a breath here, with the eyes still closed. Maybe keeping the head low, eyes closed. Hands resting on your legs and knees. Just soften the shoulders. Just notice how the upper back feels. Hopefully feel like it's more. Thanks for joining tonight. I hope you enjoyed that. Some good back stretching and back working for sure in that one. Well done. Thanks very much for joining. I might see you for core in the morning, or I might see you Saturday morning. Well done. See you soon.
Thanks, Emma.
Thank you very much. See you later.
Bye. Thank you.